Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's I, the Reluctant Gringo, back again with another video. And as promised, yes, I saw Wonka last night, and thank God I did, because damn, what a movie. What a fun movie. What a great movie. If you're looking for me to trash this movie, if you're looking for me to say anything negative about this movie, I mean, I'll try to nitpick it for you if that makes you feel better, but it was a great movie. It was a great movie from beginning to end, top to bottom, the performance, the direction, the cinematography, the callbacks to the earlier works by Gene Wilder. It was just a good movie. It made you feel good. It made you feel like Christmas. That's the best way I can say. It made you feel like Christmas. I went in there with no expectations, and being a member of the generation where Gene Wilder's performance as Willy Wonka is a touchstone for someone like me. It's a touchstone for my childhood. So it's really important. It's a really important character for me to see done right. And I know Timothee Chalumet got a lot of criticism for taking the role or being cast in the role, but he did the right thing. And those people out there who are saying, well, he doesn't have the darkness, he doesn't have the depression, he doesn't have the danger that Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka had. He's not supposed to. That's the brilliance of Chalamet's performance. He understood. He and Paul King, the director, who, as far as I'm concerned, is the king of family fun movies, being the director of Paddington, Paddington 2, and now this. Movies where you don't get any message, you don't get any social doctrine, you're not getting any political agenda, just family fun movies. Just a fun movie you can go to with your kids, with your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever you want, your spouse. You can go and have a good time. But Timothee Chalamet did the right thing with this character. We're going to get into that in a second. So the plot, it's an origin story about Willy Wonka. He arrives in the city. He wants to be a chocolatier. He's got no money. He's got to fight against the chocolate cartel run by Slugworth and Prodnose and Fickelgruber, who these evil mustache twisting villains that are like real life Monopoly men are hilarious, and they're so well done. Every character in this movie is so well done, and I could spend a lifetime on this film talking about every character and how they nailed every character and how every performance is great, but I'll stick to the ones that I think that are really, really important. The three villains, the chocolate cartel, they killed it. They were funny, they were menacing, they moved the plot along in interesting ways. They were just great foils. Great foils for Willy Wonka. Now, the people who stole the show are going to be, so when Willy Wonka shows up at the city, he's got no money. He's going to go to this boarding house where he signs a contract. It basically makes him an indentured servitude or an indentured servant, where he's going to work in the basement cleaning laundry. So it's like he's in prison. And the people who run this place, Olivia Colman and Tom Davis, who played Bleacher and Mrs. Scrubbit, they steal the show. Every scene they're in it's just funny. Their facial expressions, the way they use their accent, the way they use their physicality, it's just, they steal every scene. You're either like wondering, what are they going to do next? What are they going to say next? How nasty can they actually be to people? They just make every scene they're in just wonderful and great to watch. And it really reminds you, it really is a throwback of sort of like the old school musicals like Les Mis. You really see some of the influence of that come through. So Willy, he's sort of trapped in this laundry place where he's just forced to do laundry all the time with this other group of people that eventually become his friends and his group of people that he works with and creates chocolate with. But one in particular is this little girl named Noodle. His relationship with Noodle is the emotional heart, the emotional center of the entire movie. Every time that they talk about their past, whether Willy's trying to explain his past with his mother and where he came from, or Noodle's trying to explain her being an orphan and her dreams and aspirations one day finding her mother, they're touching. They're so well done, and they really grab you and they really make you care about these characters. You really care about every character that's in this sort of laundry / prison. Every one of them is done so well. You really care about them. You really want them all to succeed. They all make you laugh. They all get a chance to shine and have their moment and really make their mark on the film. And I guess that's something about the movie in general, that everybody who's in this film does something to leave a mark on the film. Keegan-Michael Kay killed it as the police chief. Every scene he's in, he's not in a ton, but every scene he's in, he's funny. He makes you laugh. Every scene that the villains are in, they make you laugh, or they make you feel like, oh dear God, this is so over-the-top cartoonish, it's so good. Again, every scene that Coleman and Davis are in, so good, over the top. The musical numbers, now, I'm not the biggest musical fan in the world, and if you're not, and you say, well, I'm not going to see this because it's a musical. Yeah, there's a lot of musical numbers in this. Go see it anyways, because I found myself enjoying every single one of them. To the point where afterwards, the people we were talking with, we were trying to figure out, what's your favorite musical number from that film? What was your favorite song? What was your favorite dance? Because they're all so well done, all so well choreographed. The music is great. Timothee Chalamet's voice is great. The rest of the cast can sing and hold their own, every single one of them. And you'll find yourself going, wow, as annoying as it might be to feel this. I'm actually enjoying the music and the singing. And that's kind of how I felt. I'm like, okay, I didn't expect myself to enjoy a musical, but here I am enjoying a musical. It's just a fun film. And should you go see it? Yes, you should go see it. And for the people who have an issue with Timothee Chalamet, he did the right thing. People are looking at Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka and saying, hey, he's dark, depressing sometimes, dangerous. He's got menace. Great. He's an older Willy Wonka. He's been through life. He's had some trauma. He's had some things happen to him that may have affected him developmentally and emotionally. Timothee Chalamet's Willy Wonka has not. He's young. He's full of dreams, aspirations. The world has not beaten him down yet. Even though it's tried, he still sees the whole world through his dreams. That's his lens, his dreams. So he's not the Willy Wonka of Gene Wilder because he hasn't developed into that character yet. And that's the choice that Timothee Chalamet made with this character. And it's smart because he understands that not many people are born with this cynicism. You know, when we're young, we have our dreams and we think we can accomplish anything. And that's the Willy Wonka we get. And, you know, when we talk about Timothee Chalamet's performance, again, there was something subtle that like a lot of reviewers haven't really hit upon. In this movie, it's revealed that Willy Wonka is illiterate. He can't read. He can't even read the word cat. That's important. It's really, really important to understand the character just as much as when Gene Wilder walked out as a Willy Wonka and he did the somersault in front of everybody after limping. It meant that you couldn't trust what this guy was saying or doing. You didn't know where he was coming from. With Timothee Chalamet's Willy Wonka, the idea that he's illiterate is supposed to tell you that he doesn't understand the world around him yet. He just sees the world the way that he sees it, blindly. And that's part of that whole not getting to the darkness yet, not being cynical yet, not being maniacal or dangerous yet, because he doesn't see the world that way. He's illiterate. He can't even read his own name. That's the metaphor in this film. And I think when reviewers or people seeing this movie and critiquing it, when they miss that point, that's where they're missing the point of this is Willy Wonka as a young man versus Willy Wonka ready to retire, let go of the factory, and move on in life because he's just had too much. He's just too tired and broken down. And you have to really approach the film from that way to give it an honest shot. If you don't want to give it an honest shot, I can't make you. I can't force you. But that's really how that works. That's really why it's important to understand why they did these little things with Wonka's character in this movie. But we do see little hints of the depression when he talks about his mother. We do see little hints of the darkness when he talks about his travels and how he got there. We do see little hints of danger when he first opens up his candy shop, and what happens. I don't want to be a spoiler here. So you do see little hints of that. It's in there. Timothee Chalamet took little quirks from Gene Wilder, hand movements, eye rolls, leaning on the cane a certain way. He took that, put that into his character. So it's not an imitation, but you can see that it's like this character was here. He's going to grow into here. There's so much to happen in between. Those of you who are arguing that Timothee Chalamet is not the right person to do this role, sorry, he killed it. I'm going to be honest. With you. He killed it in this role. Totally enjoyed everything that he did with this role. This movie's a prequel. It's an origin story. And there are tiny little Easter eggs here and there, if you know where to look, that tie it back to Gene Wilder's original film. The one that they let loose, though, is the famous song, Come With Me. And when he starts to sing that song, and when that song hits at the moment that it hits, you can look around the theater and you'll see people crying. You'll see people shedding a tear. It's just the way it was. It's that emotional of a film. It has those moments that are so heartwarming and so just touching that you will see at least half the theater reach for tissues. It's just that well done. Again, if you want me to trash it, I could say Hugh Grant's Oompa Loompa, they didn't introduce him early enough. So it seemed like added on, forced in a little bit. Still funny. Love seeing it. Love seeing the Oompa Loompa. But he just comes in too late. And so it sort of seems like extra or something that could have been trimmed or something that wasn't needed, something they could have saved for the next film. Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, love him. Great physical comedian. I could pick on the fact that he wasn't in the film very much. They didn't utilize him very much. He just wasn't. Anyone could have played that role, but they had Rowan Atkinson play it. But when you see Rowan Atkinson, you have certain expectations. You don't get that physicality, those looks, that type of comedy. But he did what he was supposed to do, so it was good. But it wasn't Rowan Atkinson. When I see Rowan Atkinson, I want to see that legendary British comedian. I guess I could pick on, I don't know what else to pick on. I really don't. I walked out of the theater and I said, that's what movie going should be about. Going to see a movie that makes you feel great at the end of it. You walk out and it feels like Christmas. So should you see this movie? Absolutely. Will you enjoy this movie? I believe you will. Do I believe this film compliments and pays homage and honors the legacy of Gene Wilder and the original film? Yeah, absolutely does. Absolutely does. This film checked all the boxes. So go see this film, have fun. And the problem with this film is this. It's 2023, and most of the films that have come out have just been crap, just been terrible. And going to the movies hasn't been a good time. It really hasn't. You walk out of the theaters going, wow, I wish I didn't waste my money on that. And coming at the end of a year where that's all we really felt, unless it was Barbie or Oppenheimer or maybe Super Mario Brothers or maybe Spider-Man, maybe this, maybe a handful of films. That's what Wonka has to compete with, is all this negativity and cynicism around movie making right now. That's going to be its biggest obstacle. And that's a shame, because this movie should do well. It should do well. It should have an audience. It should have repeat viewers. It should have legs. It should last past into the new year. And I encourage you to go see it. And that's my recommendation. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, I'd love to hear what you think. I am still your reluctant Gringo. And from south of the border, salut and a huevo.